Yeah, I guess you don't really realize how much you have to talk about until you really turn the camera on, man. And start recording. But yeah, I started to talk about synchronicities in the last video, the end of the last video. Pretty much like what a synchronicity is from my understanding, okay? Because I don't know the exact, word for word definition that people give it. But pretty much it's like in your life, there are things that just seem to line up, whether it be from your past, from the present, or like, it could be from any time, right? So, um, I've had a lot of like dreams that synchronize with events in the future. I've had a lot of like connections to or synchronicities with games I used to play in my life now or in recent times or just over the past few years. But yeah, specifically right now, since I moved out here to Colorado, the first thing I noticed was because I had just started reading and learning about Dr. Malachi Z, who they call on OSM Vision's YouTube channel, the master teacher, who is inhabited by a soul known as Pa Nabab Yanun, who is one of the 24 elders of, I believe, the Galactic Federation or something. But yeah, anyways, point is, first thing I noticed, because I had been doing research on him in the past few months and reading some of his scrolls or books, whatever. I think I suggest y'all read him, despite all the controversy around his name. I think you should, read and formulate your own opinion and thoughts and perspective on it. But yeah, pretty much like I found out that he was actually put in prison out here in Colorado. I don't remember exactly where, but yeah, he's actually locked up in Colorado right now. He's like 81 years old. But yeah, the whole reason why he got put in prison, that's a whole nother story. I really suggest you go look into that yourself, read the case, everything, and like I said, formulate your own opinion from your own perspective, etc. But yeah, that was the first one. The second one was that I started doing more research on command, like ancient Egypt, pre-dynastic Egypt, and Sumeria, and all this stuff. And that's another part of this whole Dr. York thing, is that he's apparently Thoth, the Atlantean, or Tahuti. And once I did research on Thoth, because there are the Emerald Tablets of Thoth and the Emerald Tablets of Hermes Trismegistus. I read both of those. I found out, one, that the Emerald Tablets of Thoth were actually written by a man named Maurice Doreal. You should do your research on him as well. He started a church of some sort, also here in Colorado. And when I say I'm finding these things out, I'm not finding them out before I do the research. I'm finding them out after I do the research. You get what I'm saying? So that's what you would call a synchronicity. And that's not the only thing. Like, dude, the missionaries, that whole thing was like, I know what path I'm on. I know myself. And some people came to me trying to take me off of that path and join theirs. And I know what that leads to. So I took a step back and I said, nah, I'm not doing that. I can't do that. I know that that's not my path. What other synchronicities have I noticed here? I think, I guess the mirror gazing thing, like when I heard that name and then I came across it in one of Dr. York's scrolls. right after. Like, I kid you not, I did the whole mirror thing for probably like 20 minutes, probably longer, I don't even know. And like, I started basically having a conversation with someone or something. And this thing or person told me its or his name and was basically saying this thing or person was trying to stop me. And I'm like, why? And then the thing said, because of jealousy and some other stuff. And I'm like, I'm not going to let you do that. Like, you cannot stop me from going forward on this path. Like, it's not happening. I declared it right then and there. And like right after that, I went back into my room and I started reading. It was a scroll from Dr. York, I believe. It's called, dang, I really wish I had the name for it. But yeah, basically what ended up happening is, like I said, I read that exact name in the book. So, you know, it's getting pretty interesting, man. And then I guess I had another one today, really, honestly. I had a dream last night, and a part of the dream was focused on basketball. Amongst other things, there were a lot of other things in this dream, but I had already made plans to go play basketball with those missionaries, whatever, at that church. That's what I did today on day 3 of this 30-day fast. I think I forgot to mention that in the last video. That's crazy. But yeah, I went to hoop this morning. But in the dream I was having, it was like, it said, I got a text from these missionaries in this dream saying, oh, to show up at 9:30 or something, but like it was supposed to start at 9, so like why would I show up at 9:30? You know what I'm saying? That was weird. Also, the other part of it was that I was actually hooping in the dream, but it seemed like a hybrid of a video game in real life. It was interesting. But then somebody, it was like it was weird. It was like a live stream, and somebody was in the comments and said, "Oh, 11 is nice," and I had 11 on my back, on my shirt or whatever I was wearing, and yeah, I was like, shoot. But anyways, I got to runs this morning and I was cooking. I can't lie, I was cooking. But and it's been a minute since I actually went up and down full court for real. But yeah, synchronicities, man. They're all around you. Just really pay attention. Like, I started to see at a certain point, like a few months, like I think last month or the month before that, I think it was June. Like, I started to see my birth date a lot, like in the time I would see it, and I would see it like I saw it on a bus right after seeing it on the time. I think it was like almost at the same time. It was really weird, like and that just kept happening. I see like some angel numbers a lot. Just so many things, man. I might say or think a certain thought, and then my ears start ringing. And I told y'all about that before. Sometimes when my ear rings and I really like get into like a hypnagogic state, I think is the name for it. The ringing just becomes actual words, you know, and if I don't get startled by it and, you know, wake up or whatever, I can make out these words. But I gotta practice on that, honestly. Oh yeah, I got synchronicities through songs a lot of the time. Like, sometimes I'll think of a song and that specific lyric or, you know, words from those lyrics would mean something in my actual life, or like I'll connect it to something else. Like, it happens, man. It does. It just happens, man. If you are anything like me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Don't think you're crazy. You're not crazy. You're exactly where you're meant to be, and everything is happening for a reason. You just have to pay attention and really observe and come up with the meaning of it all yourself, because it's all about you in that instance. Nobody else can really explain that to you, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Let me see some. I think I wrote something in my journal that's relating to this topic. I might be wrong though. Yeah, so I started doing this practice for my fast, and I'm gonna continue to do it. I might just continue to do it for the rest of my life, who knows? Pretty much when I wake up and I go through like thanking my ancestors and things like that, I take a little moment, like 10 minutes, and I ask myself, who am I? And I just sit there, and I close my eyes with the book in my hand and the pen, and I just let whatever come forward. And first things I think, I just write it down. Yeah, I've seen like some things there too, man. I'm not gonna go too deep into that, but it seems like a really good practice, honestly. I've been in the park lately, getting a lot of sunlight lately too. Feels good. In the park, this has nothing to do with synchronicities actually. In the park though, I tried to like touch a tree intentionally, with the intention that I want to know this tree, you know, I want to understand this tree. So I just put my hands on it. Started breathing, controlling my breathing rhythmically, and I started to hear like ringing in my ear, you know, the frequency of that tree. That tree was speaking to me. It was pretty cool actually. But yeah, man. Oh, I just remember another time. I think this I don't know if you would call this synchronicity, but basically like a few months ago when I first kind of started doing all this consistently, I was at this park that I like to go to back in New York, and I was in deep meditation, man. Sitting under a tree, just locked in, fully focused, right? And then out of nowhere, once I decided to complete my meditation in that moment and open my eyes, there was a spider right in front of my face, directly in front of my face, not touching me, hanging by a thread. And I'm just like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are the odds of that? And it just twirled its way up to the tree. It'd be a lot of things, man. So always stay aware and pay attention to what's going on around you. Even when you're in a place you really don't feel like you want to be at, like, unless, of course, you really shouldn't be there. Like, if, you know, that's another thing to pay attention to. But, you know, there's always, like, you're always in the right place at the right time. Don't think otherwise. You don't gotta rush anywhere. You don't gotta overdo anything. Like, just go throughout life with that awareness and that knowing that you're all right and you're exactly where you need to be, because then you'll really be calm. Your nervous system will be regulated, and you'll be able to notice all these things. You know, you'll be able to see when someone else's thoughts are trying to intercept you in your brain, or, you know, maybe some disagreeable ancestor of yours is trying to hijack you, or, you know, put some crazy thoughts in your brain too. Like, there's a lot that goes on, but don't get over overwhelmed by it. Just learn to practice that concentration and that stillness to be able to see, feel, hear, taste, smell, whatever, all of this stuff. And be able to control it on another level, if you know what I'm saying. I think I'm gonna wrap this up there. I appreciate y'all for listening if you made it all the way this far. And as always, I hope you have been taking care of yourself and you continue to take care of yourself. And just, I'm sending light and love to all of you out there, man. It's always love, pure. Yeah. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.